Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Jessica McDaniel. I'm a junior in Biological Systems Engineering, and I'm here to give you guys the 2020 Virginia Tech College of Engineering information session. So a lot of people ask, what does it take to be an engineer? So the first thing it takes is being creative. We need new, innovative minds and thinking of new ideas and new projects to tackle our everyday problems and things that we need to get fixed and things like that. A lot of companies like to have students who think outside the box, so it's really important that you have that aspect. Number 2 is teamwork. Learning how to work in teams is super important. It's a very vital skill because most of the time throughout your college career and into your professional career, you'll be learning and working with a bunch of different types of teams. So it's good to have those communication and teamwork skills early. Also, number 3, which personally I wish was number 1, was study habits. It's very important to learn how to study while you're in high school, so when you come to college, it won't be such a struggle. A lot of students come in from high school and didn't really study that much and still got A's and B's. Well, in college, it's not really the same way, so it's very important to pick up on those study habits very early. Number 4 is an interest in math and science. So you're going to be taking at least 1 or 2 math or science courses per semester, so it's really important that you have an interest in those topics. Number 5 is a challenging high school background, so that's like taking honors, AP, IB classes, dual enrollment, and also extracurricular activities. So we're not admissions, but one thing that I can say is we look at how much you challenged yourself, not necessarily how many AP credits you took. And if your school has 10 AP classes and you took all 10 and some other schools only have like 2 or 3 and you took that 2 or 3, we look to see that you took advantage of those 2 or 3 that your school did offer so that no one is at a less of advantage as someone else. Also, with the extracurricular activities, it's very important that you venture out and do sports or any other clubs or maybe organizations outside of your school just to show that you are a well-rounded student. So our freshman engineering class for 2019, the average GPA was a 4.2 out of 5.0 scale. The SAT math and reading was a 707 and 655, and the females is 20.7%, and the underrepresented minorities is the 29.4%. Basically, what this shows is just the average of what our students have gotten this past year on our incoming freshman class. This is not a requirement page. It's just an average to see what the students usually get on their scores and what their GPAs are. So for freshman general engineering, the great thing about Virginia Tech is that no matter what major you want to go into, we don't just throw you into that major right away. Everyone starts out in general engineering, which means everyone starts out in the same slate. Everyone, no matter how many credits you come in with, you're built to start out on the same space. So when you come in with those other credits, that's when your schedule may look different from others. The first common entry point classes are in the fall. You take the Foundations of Engineering class, chemistry, Calc 1, and English, and then in the spring you take Calc 2, the second part of the Foundations of Engineering class, physics, and the second part of English. Now when people come in, which is in step 2 with AP, dual enrollment credits, that's when your schedule will look a little bit different. So if you already have AP credit for Calc 1, then you don't have to take it and you can go ahead and skip for Calc 2. If you feel like you want to go review Calc 1 and just to get a hang of college math before you go into Calc 2, you also have that option as well. And if you feel comfortable, you have a certain range where you can drop a class. It won't count towards you as a withdrawal. You can test trial a class if you feel like it to see if you want to stay or if you want to drop it as well, if you already have the credit for it. So number 3 is pathways for general education curriculum. So these are basically all of your extracurricular other classes outside of engineering, science, and math that you can take. So you can really pursue any interest like another language, music, theater, or history, or anything that you may want to go into. AP and dual enrollment credits also count for this. So example like AP U.S. History or AP Gov, those would also count as pathways as well. And then number 4 is at the end of your freshman year. If you have a 3.0, then you're able to be guaranteed your first choice in major. So at the end of your freshman year, they'll ask you what major are you intended on going into. So you have 2 choices, your first one and then your second one. Don't put something that you're not really interested in as your second choice, because if you don't get your first choice, you're going to be in the other one. So it's very important to pay attention to that. And if you have a 3.0, then you'll guaranteed get into it. And if you don't, then don't worry. You'll still be in engineering. It's not like you get kicked out or anything. It's just some people, for example, they may not pass physics the first time. So they may have to go in and take it over, or they may want to take it over the summer and stuff like that. And you cannot go into engineering without finishing your common entry point classes. So once you finish that, then you'll be able to reapply for your major, and you have all the way up until your junior year to get into your degree granting major. So along with that, say if we have 100 students who want to be in mechanical engineering, but we only have 50 spots. So, and the 100 students have a 3.0. So what we would do is we hire more staff, expand the classrooms so that we're able to accommodate the influx in students. Also, it works vice versa, where if we have 100 spots for mechanical engineering and only 50 students have the 3.0 GPA, they go down from 3.0, 2.99, 2.98 until they fill up all the 100 spots. So the Foundations of Engineering class really is a great class that shows you design and teamwork skills, different engineering disciplines. You're required to go to 3 different engineering related major information sessions as a grade. So it kind of shows you all the different engineering disciplines that we have to offer and see what you're really interested in. So when it comes springtime, you know what degree that you're going to try to pursue. We learn different algorithms, so we learn different coding languages like MATLAB, and we learn how to use AutoCAD and SolidWorks. We also do a lot of problem solving and have in the second part of your engineering class, there's a project. So some of the projects are like a RC car or a airplane, drone, or making a wind turbine and things like that. So it's very interesting because you get to build it off from scratch and make the designs yourself and present it at the end. So it's really cool to see your designs come to life in that class. So this is the fall undergraduate enrollment for 2019. So at the top, you see engineering education has over 3,000 students. That just means all the freshmen that came in that year. The rest of the majors are how many students are in each major. And if you divide that number by 3, that's around how many students are in each class. So you see that some of them, like civil and computer science, are some of our biggest with the majority of students in them, and mechanical is the most popular one that we have so far. So now we're going to go and talk about all of the majors individually. First, we have electrical engineering. Electrical engineering, you can major and focus in different things like electrical systems, electronics and microelectronics, communication systems and controls. It's a very lab-based major and has a lot of lab design projects. A lot of electrical engineers will be carrying around their circuit boards and things like that, working on their projects. And different types of industry jobs you can have is power and energy, communications, microelectronics, and electrical engineers are pretty much needed everywhere. So this is always a very versatile major to go into. Computer science is the next one. So we always like to highlight that computer science and computer engineering are both different majors. Computer science focuses more on the software and the coding and the programs of the computer, while computer engineering focuses on the computer itself, its hardware, its compatibility, and things like that. So first we're going to focus on computer science, which is the designing and developing of the software, the operating systems, and using those in different applications. So one great thing about Virginia Tech, and this goes for all the majors, is that when you graduate from Virginia Tech, you don't just graduate with your computer science degree. You graduate with your computer science degree in an area of focus. So different areas of focuses could be human-computer interaction, knowledge, information, and data, scientific computing, systems and networking. So you also get to major in computer science and then hone in on what specifically you are interested in. So we also have a 5-year master's track with computer science, and most majors do have a 5-year track, but computer science likes to highlight this as well because not a lot of other schools have this as an option for this major. A lot of software and design development jobs are available, also mobile applications, game design development, and things like that. There is a simulation of a senior design project that was simulating what would look like if you cross the street without looking, and then he obviously would get run over by a car, so it's very important to look both ways before you cross the street. But this is just showing an example of a virtual reality created by students for their senior design project and things that you can do while being in this major. So computer engineering, like I said before, is incorporating the computer systems into everyday life. So some examples of this are the smart fabric. So the smart fabric is so it can detect hard or harsh falls. So for the elderly, if they fall and it's an emergency, they can quickly get help in that. And then also some areas of specialization are network, hardware, computer systems. Cybersecurity is a huge one, and there's so much more that you can do with that major. So biological systems engineering, which is my major, a lot of people get confused with civil and environmental and biological systems engineering. So really, biological systems engineering focuses more on solely the environment and how what we do affects that and ways to innovate that for the future, and agricultural aspects as well. And then civil engineering focuses a lot on the civil and the structural part of the world and working with the environment in that aspect. So for biological systems engineering, a lot of the things that we focus on is land and water resources, watershed, hydrology, environmental health, and resource management, bioprocessing engineering as well. You can go pre-med, pre-vet, or pre-dental with this degree, or you can have a major in biological systems engineering and have a minor in biomedical. That's what a lot of students do before we got the biomedical degree. And a lot of different job types you can do is like biopharmaceuticals, biofuels, food processing, and working for government agencies or nonprofit organizations. So for chemical engineering, you're applying the principles of chemistry, biology, and physics to solve problems that improve the production and use of chemicals. So taking these small things and blowing them up into industrial size. Also, with this major, they have a integrated summer abroad program. There's a mandatory summer lab that you have to do. So you could either take it in Blacksburg over the summer, or you can take it in Denmark or Germany. A lot of other majors, you also have the option to study abroad. This is just some part of this specific major that is integrated into their 4-year course. But later we'll talk about the other options you can have with studying abroad. So material and science engineering, this is really just the study of materials and properties and what materials will be good for what applications and things like that. On the top right, you can see a picture of the VT Foundry, and this is a hands-on lab that the students are able to participate in. And if you go to visit, then you can make your own VT coin. And at the bottom right corner is a picture of one of our football players in the past. The story is that he broke his arm and he was injured, and if he wore a cast on the field, it'd be considered a weapon. So they called the material science engineers to build a cast for him that wouldn't be considered a weapon on the field, but would also protect his arm while he was playing. So they did that, and then we won the football game. So engineers win football games. There's a lot of different areas of studies with this major, like materials, polymers, ceramics, and nuclear materials as well. So mining and minerals engineering, the areas of emphasis are exploration, evaluation, development, extraction. So what all really this means is if you can't make it in a lab or grow it, then it has to be mined out of the ground. A lot of hands-on experience with this major. You also have a lab where you get to go down to the quarry and you get to blow stuff up, which is pretty fun. They say it's a blast. And it has 100% job placement, so that's also very good as well. So civil and environmental engineering is about designing, building, and maintaining infrastructure. A lot of the areas of emphasis are construction, land development, materials, geotechnical, water resources. So there's a lot of different areas of emphasis you can go with this major. A lot of how the way the classes are structured, you have to take a lot of the different aspects, so you get to learn all the different parts of what it really means to be a civil engineer. We also have a lot of design teams that are based on civil engineering principles and aspects. And at the bottom right corner, you can see a self-driving car. So we have our VT road, where it simulates different weather patterns on the road to see how well the self-driving car will drive on that road. So construction engineering and management is a very cool degree. You get to plan, direct, and coordinate construction projects and things like that. It's really an integration of 3 different colleges in one: the civil environmental engineering, the building construction, and the College of Business. So you get all those 3 aspects in one major. A lot of employers were happy with the work that the civil engineers were doing, but just wish that they had a management background to it and knowledge to it. So we decided to create this major to mix all of the 3 together. Some type of jobs you can get with this is project engineer, field planner. This also has 100% job placement as well, and most of the students get about 5+ offers with this major because they have all the different backgrounds with the different colleges that they, have learned over the years. And they also get to wear their hard hat at graduation, so you are able to spot them pretty quickly. So aerospace and ocean engineering, there are 2 different majors, but it also is possible to double major because a lot of the classes are very similar. Some of the areas of emphasis are aerodynamics, hydrodynamics, structures, propulsion and flight, and mechanics. And also they have a wind tunnel that you see the weatherman here. He is trying to experience a level 5 hurricane. And so you see that we have, he's trying to go through it and things like that, and to see if he can get up there. So for mechanical engineering, this is one of the most popular majors because you can pretty much do whatever you want with it. They apply the principles of motion, energy, heat, and force to design and construct, operate machines and devices. So some topics that you can focus on are acoustics, aeronautics, automotive, CAD, biomedical controls, and there's so many things that you can do with this major. There's also many design teams that focus on this as well. In the top right corner, they built a fake dorm room to simulate what it would look like, how a fire would spread with a dorm room. Don't worry, none of our dorm rooms will catch on fire, but they just did that as an experiment to see. So biomedical engineering is our brand new major, and it really talks about and focuses on producing interdisciplinary trained engineers who can solve problems associated with complex biological systems, applying principles of biology, chemistry, and medicine, physics, and engineering. So there's a lot of areas of interest that you can go in with this. This is also a popular minor. It is biomaterials, biomechanics, cardiovascular engineering, neuroengineering. There's so much you can do with this major, and it is brand new. They're still building it up, so to apply to this major, it's still on a interview basis, but by the time a few more classes go by, it'll be open and will be on the 3.0 rule like the rest of the other majors are. Industrial and systems engineering is a very unique major, and it really analyzes the design implement to improve integrated work systems. So what really that means is if you have a chair and you are sitting in it, what's the best posture for you to be at so you're sitting straight but not too straight, or what is the best material for the chair so it's not that hard but it's still comfortable for the user, and things like that. So a lot of areas of emphasis are human factors, ergonomics, manufacturing systems, and operations research. So different jobs that you can do. One big one is healthcare or transportation, or manufacturing is one of the biggest ones that industrial systems engineers pursue after graduation. So for more information on the different types of majors and to see them more in depth and to contact an advisor for more information, or just to see the list of classes or anything you want to know, you can visit Explore Engineering, Virginia Tech, and all the different majors have their own webpage where you can go and explore all the different things that they have to offer. So other opportunities available, these are the engineering minors that we offer. Mind you, you can minor in whatever you want to, but these are just the engineering related minors that we have. We have computer science, cybersecurity, green engineering, microelectronics, naval engineering, biomedical, and science engineering. One thing is biomedical and computer science are the only majors that are minors. All the other majors you cannot minor in, so you cannot minor in aerospace engineering. But computer science and biomedical are minors that we offer. We also have many study abroad opportunities. Virginia Tech has many partnerships with schools and universities all around the world, so it's very easy to study abroad in a different country and have your credits transferred back to Virginia Tech very easily. We also have a specific program for engineers called RSAP, which stands for the Rising Sophomore Abroad Program. And that's a 2 to 3 week summer abroad experience after your freshman year. It's right before summer really hits or any internship starts, so you really have time to relax, and it's right after exams. They have different tracks like India, New Zealand, Australia, China, and UK, Ireland, South America, and things like that. I went on the South America track and it was super great. We went to go visit a lot of different countries, and we went to go visit Peru, Ecuador, and Chile. We got to visit companies. We got to visit schools, and we got to do fun stuff like travel around to different places. And we went to Ecuador and we went to the equator line, and we got to like jump back and forth over the equator line, which was pretty fun. And you just get to do a bunch of cool stuff, and it's super exciting. It's a really exciting time. We also offer undergraduate research. Pretty much almost every professor does research at our university. Virginia Tech is an R1 institution, one of the top leading institutions in research. It's as easy as asking your professor, to hop on their research team. You can do it for pay, or you can do it for a credit, or you can just volunteer if it's something you're interested in. It doesn't even have to do with anything that has to do with your major. It could be in a whole nother department if you want to. For example, I'm in biological systems engineering, but I do research in the civil engineering department. You can do research in whatever you want. So we have a lot of engineering professional societies and organizations. So for example, we have NSBE, which is a National Society of Black Engineers. We also have SWE, which is a Society of Women Engineers. We have SHIP. We have AOE, which is a engineering sorority. We have sororities and fraternities that are associated with the different majors, and we also have specific major related organizations as well. So there's a lot. Once you get here, you'll realize there's so many different organizations, engineering related and not, that you can be a part of. So here is just a map of some of our engineering internships and co-op experiences. This is just a map of what the dean's team has gotten. So that is a group of students who's about 50 of us. If we showed you how many internships and co-ops the whole school has gotten, you wouldn't be able to see the map. Mind you, probably some of the globe as well. An internship is usually like 8 to 12 weeks during the summer, and you work at the company and they pay good and you get to have the hands-on experience. It's not like, oh, go get me coffee or make this copy of this paper. It's like you're actually in there as an employee and working. Co-ops are similar but a little different. Co-ops work on terms. So with co-op, you'll most likely be gone a semester of college. So all your scholarships and everything will be on hold, and you get to go and work. They usually pay a little bit more, and you're there for a longer term. So usually it's from the summer to the end of the fall, or the beginning of the year to the middle of the summer, and things like that. So say if you leave your sophomore year and you come back, you won't be a junior, you'll still be a sophomore because you have to still take those classes in order to work yourself up to get to the junior level of the classes that you need to be taking. This is highly encouraged, and this is a big reason on why some students graduate in 5 years. So they say I'm like a 5th year senior or something like that, and because they took a co-op. And it's really good because most of the time co-ops and internships land in a full-time job once you're a senior and after you graduate. So Virginia Tech offers so much support outside of class. We are not a weed out program like some other schools emphasize about their retention rate, was what we will focus on later. But some of the support we have outside of our class is we have many career fairs going on throughout the school year. Some of our biggest ones are Engineering Expo, which hundreds of companies come to Virginia Tech in order to hire our students. We have a saying called Hokies hire Hokies. So a lot of the Virginia Tech alumni will graduate and come back as recruiters to hire more Virginia Tech students. If you look to the top right, you see the SEED mentoring program. So SEED stands for Center of Engineering Enhancement Diversity. So they have a peer mentoring program. So when you come for the first 10 weeks, this is when you get paired with a mentor. So it'll usually be sophomore, junior, or senior, and they just help you out with the regular stuff that you need help with, like finding your way around campus, have help with homework, or helping you sign up for classes, you're for homesick, anything that you can think of. Like, the mentor is there to help you get through that transition from high school to college. We also have STEP, which is our summer transition to engineering program. So really, it's once you get admitted, you're offered to go to STEP, and it's for 5 weeks over the summer, and you're on campus, and the group of students is usually about that big that you see at the bottom left corner. And you take the same classes that you would be taking during the school year. So you'll be taking chemistry, calculus, engineering class, and learning everything you need to know ahead of time so you're freshman 2.0 when you get to school in the fall. You'll live in the dorm and live on campus and things like that with your friends that you make during the time. The program is really to help you quickly transition from high school to college. It'll give you that woe is me moment before you actually get to college. So if you don't do so well on a test, or you're not doing so well in a class, that's fine, because once the summer is over, it doesn't count for anything, but you can still keep all your work. So once you get back to school in the fall, you'll already know pretty much the whole first month or two of school, and it'll just be easy breezy the whole time you're going through. So Hypatia and Galileo is our living learning community for engineers. It's called Galpatia, which is Lee Hall on Washington Street. I lived there for 2 years, and it is an awesome program. They have the studio, which is the makerspace. They have 3D printers, laser cutters, power tools, pretty much anything you want. It's completely free for only the people who live in Lee. How it works is there's the girls, which is the Hypatia, and the guys, which is Galileo. So there's co-ed floors, and then there's the male and female floors. This also works similar to the peer mentoring program. You're also paired with a mentor who was a sophomore who lived in the community the year before, and they'll teach you basically the same things on how to help with your transition from high school to college. And also, you're able to go to the O Show, which is a big presentation of all the engineering clubs and organizations that you can join. And you also are able to take a 1 credit class only in the fall, and it's really for professional development and growth. So they'll teach you how to write a resume, how to write a cover letter, how to properly email your professor, things that no one is going to teach you. Most people have to figure that out on their own, but we give a specific class to teach those skills that you need to be successful. So once you go to the career fairs and looking for jobs, you know exactly what you're doing. Most of the employers always say that our students have the most professional looking resumes and things like that. So most of our students have a better success when going to these career fairs as well. If you're interested in Hypatia and Galileo, I definitely recommend applying early, sooner than later, and because the spots do fill up pretty quickly. And it's a very great program. I personally lived there for 2 years, and I loved it my whole time I was a freshman, and then I was a mentor my sophomore year, and I still am active in the community doing the committee member things and stuff like that. They also have different committees that'll help you with different things like academic support, that'll provide tutors that'll come straight to the dorm so you don't have to go and look for a tutor. We have social events that you can attend. They have service learning events if you like to do service projects. And they have professional development events where you can learn on how to improve on your professional development skills. So Galpatia offers a whole lot, and I really highly recommend you applying for that. So HandsOn, MindsOn is really all of our design teams, and we have so many. These are just a few, like Design, Build, Fly. Concrete Canoe is my favorite one, and it is just what it sounds like. It's a concrete canoe. They make a canoe out of concrete, and it floats, and they race in it and all that stuff. And I'm just like, wow, that's so cool. They have Steel Bridge, Hyperloop, Baja SIE. It's a really great way to take what you learn in the classroom or just have a break and go build something and watch it come to life instantly. And they do a lot of different competitions with this and stuff, and it's a very great talking point when you're applying to jobs and interviews and stuff. So some of our VT rankings, we're 13th best among accredited engineering universities. So if you're looking at other engineering colleges, make sure that they're ABET accredited. That's ABET accredited. That means that when you go looking for a job, they're going to look for that accreditation in your college. And if they don't have it, you're less likely to get a job in that field, because ABET makes sure that we are teaching our students the proper criteria and materials and things like that in order to be successful in the workplace. We're also ranked number 31 in best graduate school programs. We're ranked number 7 in best producer engineers, 8 in producer of women engineers, and also all of our degrees are usually in the top 15, top 20. So basically what that means is if you decide to switch your major or something from computer science to computer engineering, you're not switching from a great degree to a not so great degree. All of our degrees are great and ABET accredited, so you won't really have to worry about anything when choosing a major. So these are some of our outcomes. The freshmen who continued their second year into engineering, over the last 5 years, we've averaged at 90%. This is also called the retention rate. So when you're looking at other schools, like I mentioned before, please pay attention to this retention rate. Make sure that it's not a program that is going to set you up for failure. Virginia Tech sets you up for success. If you live in Galpatia and Galileo, Galpatia and the living learning community, then that number goes up to about 99% of students who continue to engineering their second year. Also, after graduation for the class of 2019, this is not going to add up to 100 because it's a survey that's sent out, and out of the people who replied, there are 74% that are employed and 13% that plan to attend graduate school or have accepted admission after graduation. And the median starting salary is $70,000 for the class of 2019, and that can always range depending on your major, but that's about the median. So for scholarships, for freshmen, they have the Davenport Scholarship, the Pratt Engineering Scholarship, and definitely fill out your FAFSA, your financial aid. It's due October 1st every year, so just fill it out one time and keep doing it every year. We also have the Leo Pattis Scholarship for Virginia Community College Schools for transfer students as well. If you're a freshman, I would definitely go on the Virginia Tech Scholarship Opportunities page and look at some other scholarships that may apply to you, especially if you're an out-of-state student like me. It's very important to go look at those scholarships sooner than later. For upperclassmen, that's when the money really starts rolling in. When alumni graduate and donate back to the university and make their own scholarships, they don't donate back to general engineering, they donate back to their department. So once you declare a major, so say if I'm in civil engineering, they're going to donate back to civil engineering. So then that's when you start getting those types of funding and things like that. So you have the College of Engineering funds, which is one application. You fill it out, you write an essay, send it in, but just make sure you do that one time because that will make you eligible for a bunch of other scholarships that are floating around in the VT Opportunities page. They'll see what scholarships apply to you and start giving you scholarships based on the essay that you filled out. But if you don't fill it out, then you're not going to get any scholarships. Department scholarships work the same way. and it's all in one application. So please, please, please remember to fill it out. Your parents cannot remind you because it's going to go to your VT email. So make sure you do that. So some of our computer guidelines are to have the 2-in-1 laptop, so you have the touchscreen and the pen to write on the screen. I really recommend not buying your computer until March or March of that year that you're going to go into college, or even waiting until orientation time this summer to order your laptop, because our specs change all the time of what we need in the laptop. So if you want to check out the specifications that you need, you can definitely go online and look at the website. If you buy your computer through the university, I would highly recommend that. It's so much better. You come with a 4-year warranty until you graduate. So if you break it, spill something, drop it, you just take it to the SWAT team, which is what we have in Torgerson Hall, and they'll fix your computer for you. And while your computer is being fixed, they'll give you a loaner computer to use until yours is fixed. And that's super important because about 90%, if not 100%, if our homework has to be submitted online or is done online. So it's really important that you have your computer. Most of our computers have inking capabilities. A lot of people like to take notes on their computers, so it's really important to check those specifications. So the big question everyone asks is, why did I come to Virginia Tech for the College of Engineering? So I'm from North Carolina. I'm from Greensboro, North Carolina, and I wanted to go away from North Carolina just to try, something new. So I applied all over, everywhere, and so it was really in between NC State and Virginia Tech. And so I didn't really know which one to choose. I know I didn't want to stay in North Carolina, but I've never been to Virginia, so I didn't know what Virginia Tech was or Blacksburg or anything. So when you get admitted as a female, you get invited to this thing called Women's Preview Weekend. So in Women's Preview Weekend, you go and you sleep over in the dorms at Lee Hall. And so I went and met all these engineering females, and it was so great. The campus was so beautiful. Everyone was so nice, and it wasn't like everyone was putting up a front just because it was like orientation time or something. Like, it was, people really were genuinely nice and wanted to help you, and I could feel that, within the community, and it was so strong. And I just felt like this is where I needed to be. There was so much that they had to offer, and so much support, specifically also for minorities as well. So I really appreciated that and decided to come here, and it was the best decision ever. One thing that I just always think is, if you are planning on going somewhere for at least 4 to 5 years of your life, you really want to at least feel like you belong there. And I definitely feel that when I come to Virginia Tech. So that's why I chose to come to Virginia Tech. So thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, feel free to email on the College of Engineering, and we'll be able to answer those questions. Thank you.